Hello and welcome today to this webinar for Smint.io users. My name is Reinhard Holzner and I will lead you through this demo and presentation. I'm very happy to welcome over 100 participants here to this call. So we are very happy about this interest that we have here. Already today we had another webinar in German, so it's great to see now also a big audience for the English-speaking webinar. Let's get started. I want to start this webinar by visiting the agenda first, tell you what we will see. So first of all, I will show you the new Smint.io plugin for Adobe Creative Cloud, followed by the Smint.io plugin for Microsoft Office 365. Then we will visit a great feature. It's called a reverse image search, and I will tell you what this is, and I will show you. And then we will go into a lot of features within Smint.io that we have introduced to make collaboration easier for you guys. Then we will look at the solution for a very cumbersome thing, which is the cancellation process. And we will then also shortly visit a few administration and accounting features introduced to Smint.io shortly. And a smaller feature at the end, which is the subsequent assignment of collected assets to purchases. Then we will go into the roadmap and look into the future. Okay, so let's get started with the demo. And the first thing that we will look into is actually, as I said, the Adobe Creative Cloud plugin. And let me start here with my Photoshop. Please note that we support Photoshop and InDesign and in Illustrator and also Premiere Pro. So it's the same plugin for all the different tools. So you don't need to have separate installers or something like that. There is two ways on how to get this plugin into your Creative Cloud instance. The first is to search it on Adobe Exchange. The second way is actually to go to our website. And there is a special page for Adobe customers, as you see it here. And here there is the plugin, and you can download the plugin from there. As you see here, there is a version for Windows and for Mac. So that's an installer. If you have administrator rights, you can install the plugin on your PC or on your Mac. Also here you can find a quick start guide which should help you get started with the plugin if you want to. But yeah, I already have it installed, so it doesn't matter how you get it. At the end it will be the same both ways. And here you see there is no plugin anywhere. So there is this if you go to Window and then Extensions and then you see Smint.io, and if you select it, you already see that Smint.io is already there. You can actually drag and drop this panel to wherever you want to. I put it here because it's quite good for me to use. So let me now sign in to my account. And as you see, this actually is a responsive version of our tool. What this also means, if you use Smint.io from your mobile phone, now this is responsive as well. So it's very easy to use Smint.io from mobile phones as well, from iPhone or let's say an Android phone. You also see it here, and actually it's optimized for this, let's say, vertical view, and it is enriched by functionality that makes it easier for you to work in Adobe tools. So as you can use everything normally, except we removed the administration here because it doesn't make sense in this view. And we removed a few other features that you don't need, but all the main features are actually available through the Adobe plugin. So let's imagine you have an image that you didn't purchase yet, like this one. I will just now access it. And first of all, what the creative usually wants is to work with layout files. And this is very easy now. I just click here on layout file, and what the plugin does is it puts the layout file into the artboard without any problems. And as you can see here, the layer that was added is actually called layout. So this means, hey, this image has not been licensed yet. Be careful. But it's very important because here it's obvious that it's a layout file, but there's layout files that don't have any watermarks. And if you then have this layout file in your artboard and you don't know that it's not yet licensed, it could happen that you have a license infringement. What happens then, once you decided to purchase an image, you can then just download it from Smint.io by clicking the download button here. And now what Smint.io does is very powerful. It actually replaces the image, the layout file that you had before, and it replaces it by the fully licensed version. And as you can see here, the layer has been renamed now, and it's called full licensed, which means, hey, you actually have fully licensed image here, and you will not have any trouble. So that's very, very nice functionality that you probably can use as a creative very easily within Smint.io. Okay, let me continue with the Office plugin now. If you have any input, if you need to have improvements here after testing the plugin, please tell me, and we will really try everything to make it as good for you as possible to work with the Smint.io plugin directly from the Adobe tools. Okay, so let me open my PowerPoint now to show you the Smint.io plugin for Office 365. Actually, the plugin is again available in two different ways. First is the Microsoft Add-in Store, where you can just download the plugin. The certification is still running, so it's not yet available there. But once it's available, you will get a notification. For now, this plugin can be installed for your enterprise or for a bigger company with an Office 365 account through the central administrator console easily for all the users. So administrators can roll out the Smint.io plugin to all the Office users. So just get in touch with us and we will send you the appropriate information how to do that. So actually, the Smint.io plugin for Office 365 in the add-in store will come very soon. For now, you need your administrator to install it for you. I have it installed here already, so you can see here your admin installed this add-in for you. So we did this. We have an Office 365 subscription, and if I click it, immediately again the plugin will open. I can again log in here. And again, I have the possibility just here, like I would like this car picture here, and I could just download my layout file, and it's very fast, and you see instantly you have that layout file in your Office, in your PowerPoint presentation, and you can work with it. The second thing is I could also use my full versioned image. It will download the image, and now it will go into the Photoshop plugin as well. Into the Photoshop as well. The only functionality that is not available here is replacing the layout file with the full version because Office unfortunately does not support that. But all the same features are the same as within the Adobe plugin. Please note that this also works in Office Online, so you can really use that in your Office Online version as well. A side note for those who don't know, because here also in Office you see insert picture and you can actually select stock images here. So what you can see here is that there's a lot of stock images, but there's no license information available. You don't know what's the license for that image. So please don't use that. We actually checked which license is attached to these images. And actually, it's like only for presentation use, only for internal use. You do not have any right to use this commercially. So it's very dangerous to use that in a public-facing presentation because it's not the appropriate license. Better use Smint.io. You have much more selection there, and it works as easy as if you would use the other way. Okay, let me go and continue with the presentation now online in the full version of Smint.io. So one thing is, let me switch to English here first. One thing is that I wanted to tell you is in recent times we have called the collections here collections. We renamed that to Lightboxes because users more easily understand the term Lightbox. So that's the same if you're searching for your collections. It's now called Lightboxes, and we moved the collections or Lightboxes button into the user menu to clean up the menu up here. So if you are missing that button or that menu option, it's now moved into the user menu. So you can access all Lightboxes right by clicking here and also here. So that's just a small change. So let me go to the next bigger feature in our presentation, which is the reverse image search. So what is reverse image search? Reverse image search is you provide an image and we search for you based on artificial intelligence images that are similar to that image. So a lot of providers can do that already, like Getty or Shutterstock, but they of course only search within their own image collection. But our reverse image search works across all the providers that support that. So you can actually here, if I would want to search for pictures that are similar to this coronavirus picture here, I could just drag it in here and now the reverse image search is starting and all the providers will be asked for similar images, and what you get at the end is similar images across all the providers. So this should be a very, very interesting feature for a lot of people and for a lot of creatives, because it saves you a lot of time in research. And as you can see, this works now with Getty, iStock, Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, and Mauritius Images. So there's also a huge selection of providers that support that feature. Actually, you can do that reverse image search from all over Smint.io. So it's not restricted to the search. What you, for example, can do is you can just click here and select an image, or you could use the symbol within any image on Smint.io to start it. For example, if I would go into such a Lightbox and I would like to search similar images to this one, I could just click here and it will start and reverse image search as well. Or I could use this icon here as well to start it from the search bar. So I think this is a very, very powerful feature where you can quickly make your research a lot faster than before. Another feature that was requested by users actually is, in the past, when you changed the selection here, it was triggering a fresh search upon every change, and this made larger selection changes here very, very slow. Now there is a button apply change, and this will then wait. Once you click apply change, the search will be done. So you can much quicker change your selections here. So that's a smaller feature that was requested by a few of our users. Let me now continue with the next feature set, which is the Smint features for collaboration. So what did we want to do there? The problem is when selecting images or videos or content for a project, usually you have a selection of content here in your Lightbox, but then emails start to flow back and forth because people are discussing which image is the best, and they need to exchange opinions, and they need to work together to get to a selection. And actually, we wanted to make that easier and wanted to get rid of all of those emails. And so what we first did is we introduced live chat functionality to our Lightbox. So I will now ask my colleague Gert, who is actually dialed into this meeting, to just send me a message. It's there already. So this is also a new feature. We introduced a notification system to Smint.io, where you will see if cards are waiting for approval, or if something happens in the system that you need to take care of. And if you get a message, it's also here. So as you can see here, my colleague has sent me a message. And when I click on it, it will instantly open that message. And as you can see here, we have here a chat box where I can really live chat together with my colleagues and work on asset selection. You can use the chat directly on the Lightbox level, or you could also use the chat, for example, on an individual asset. Or you could use the chat also in your card. If, for example, the card is for approval, you can chat with the approver and talk with him if there's any issues. So that's one of the features that we wanted to introduce. And the cool thing is this also works, for example, right from your Adobe plugin, where you can also chat, or it works also right from your Office installation, where you can chat as well. So there is the functionality is available throughout all the different platforms that we support. Now you can chat, and now the second thing is, for example, if you get a larger selection of pictures from a photographer, or if you select a larger collection of pictures here, you usually want to rank that, and you want to flag different assets, like I want to exclude this one, and this one is for narrower selection, and this is final. And what we now allow you is to rank different assets, and you can also sort by ranking, and you can also filter by ranking. So if I would then exclude this one, the view will instantly update, and I will now have this ranked down to the end of the list. And if I would again select it as final, it would move up the list, and all my colleagues will see that. And I can also then filter, let's say, by only final images, or in different ways, however you want that. So together, the chat and the ranking is really helping you in your asset selection, in your collaboration on creative projects, and we hope that we can help you here to really make your work easier and avoiding emails wherever possible. Another smaller feature is here. You can now also for Lightboxes add a description. For example, here I added a description for this Lightbox. In our own internal project, for example, we have a Lightbox here which is called Imagery. Actually, we worked with an image agency called Die Bildbeschaffer, and they created an image language for us for Smint.io, and they did that in Smint, directly in Smint.io. And they created this Lightbox, and then they added a description about the style that we want to use. So you can use this description of a Lightbox for this purpose, for example. Today, we also had an interesting input of a user in a question, and I want to show this here. The user asked me if it's possible to delete Lightboxes, and I said, yes, it's possible to delete Lightboxes here. But it's better, and this is somehow a feature that nobody recognized, it's better to just disable it. If you disable it, it's archived, and you can show it then by this switch, but it will prevent you of deleting Lightboxes that you might use later on for reference. So it's better to just disable the Lightbox instead of deleting it, but it's possible if you want to delete the Lightbox, of course. Okay, so that's about the collaboration features, the new collaboration features in Smint.io, and I will now continue with the cancellation process. So what does cancellation mean? So there could be two reasons to start the cancellation. Either the content provider is coming to you and say, hey, sorry, we are having an issue with this image. You need to remove it from your collection, and you might not use it afterwards because there is license trouble with this image. And there's the second reason: somebody bought an image by accident and wants to cancel this purchase and wants to get a refund. In both cases, it's a complicated process. You need to talk to the content provider. Your administrator needs to talk to the content provider. And at the end, when the cancellation is confirmed, you need to inform all the users that are working with the image that they need to stop using that image. So that's now something that is very, very complicated and risky. And we decided that it's important that we cover that in Smint.io. So if you now use Smint.io and you go to your purchases, your administrator will have the possibility to request a cancellation. So the administrator gives a cancellation reason, and then it begins to feel easy, because what happens then is this request will go to us. We will then contact all the responsible people at the content provider side, at the company side, and work through this cancellation. And once the cancellation is confirmed, we will confirm the cancellation. And because we know all the downloaders that have been using that picture, the system will automatically inform all the downloaders through a notification that this image has been canceled and they should stop using it. And the user will then confirm that he has read this notification and that he has understood it. So there is no risk involved anymore, because we know who downloaded the image, who has been using that image. Everybody will get informed, and there is no process overhead anymore. Please note, if you request a cancellation here, this is, as I said, just a request for cancellation. This is the cancellation is just really done when we confirm it, because it could happen that the content provider says no, or there needs to be some negotiations or something like that. So once the cancellation is confirmed, you will get a notification that it's confirmed, and then it's really done. Okay, by the way, for administrator, it's always interesting to see who downloaded an image. So there's also new functionality here to show downloaders. So if I click here, I will instantly see who downloaded that image before. So you can get in touch with the people. So that's an administrator feature that makes it easier to get in touch with people who downloaded an image. Also here, we have, of course, additional features for bookkeeping and so on. There have been requests like to be able to filter the purchase list by content provider. This is now possible. And the most important feature here is to search by transaction ID, by content number. So you can do a full text search here with that numbers or with that IDs, and you will find the appropriate transactions in our log. So that's a feature that makes it easier to do the administrative work here in Smint.io. Okay, then we have the feature late assign of purchases to collected elements. So one of the things is if you are here, you see that all of those assets have a to cart button. If you use the to cart button, actually the asset in the cart will be attached to the asset in the Lightbox, and if it's been purchased, this asset in the Lightbox will be marked as purchased and can be downloaded right here. Now, if you directly collect an asset to the cart without doing it from the Lightbox, this connection is not being established. So this could be happening, and you would not have a download capability here because actually the Lightbox item is not connected to the purchase. You can now late assign this asset to a purchase by just selecting this option. And if there is a purchase that is not already in use by another Lightbox, you can attach it. And then the cost centers will be adjusted, and then all the different settings will be adjusted. And at the end, you will have a clean Lightbox with the right purchases associated to your asset. So for all that want to keep their Lightboxes in order, they now have this late assign capability throughout the system, and this will help them keep their Lightboxes in order. So last but not least, there's two features that are not on the agenda, but that came up just recently, and so I will now introduce it here. You know, sometimes it happens that you really want to have some image researched for you because you don't have time or you want to let this be done by professionals who are specialized on image research. And what we have now here is this content research facility where you can, once I'm online again, live chat with us if you have an image research request, and we are working together with a specialized company, the Bildbeschaffer, who will then work with you through this image research process and help you select the right image. And this is done easily throughout Smint.io. You will get the Lightbox where the selected images will be in there, where you can then use the chat and the ranking features to work together with them and to select your perfect image. Please note that this is only possible if you have an additional agreement with us where we cover the costs for the associated work. And the second thing is that very often throughout your daily work, you will have legal questions on license rights or on model releases or what can I use this image for. And so we introduced the second service, which is the legal advice service. And again, we are working here together here with specialized lawyers who are specialized on legal advice, and you can send the legal advice request throughout our system, handle it throughout Smint.io, and you will get the answer from the lawyer very soon and very quickly, and it's all done through Smint.io. Also, this is only possible, of course, if you have a special agreement with us, but once this agreement is done, you can use that functionality throughout Smint.io. Okay, for now, this is the features that I wanted to introduce. I now want to invite you to ask your questions. I will then start answering them right now. Okay, there is a question from Frederick. Frederick wants to know if I would address the DEM integrations because there is such a lot of them that are new. Right, really, Frederick, I actually forgot that. So of course, we have a lot of new digital asset management provider integrations that have been coming up recently. So there is now an integration for Adobe Experience Manager, for Aprimo, for Canto, for Celum, for Media Cockpit, for OpenText, for PicturePark, for Viva Vault Promomat, and for Woodwing Elvis. So any of those DEM integrations are available at your convenience. I will just show you as an example one of those integrations, which is PicturePark. It's actually the first integration that we did and still one of the best. So here you can see the content being synchronized to PicturePark actually, and you can see here that the metadata has been synchronized also in different languages. All the license terms and license restrictions have been synchronized to PicturePark. So that's an out-of-the-box integration. So for an enterprise, you can synchronize this Smint.io content into your DEM very easily. for an agency, you can actually very easily synchronize that content to your customer's dams if you want, so that content that you purchased on behalf of the customer goes to their dam without any media breaks. So there's a lot of good reasons to use those standard Smint.io integrations to the different digital asset management systems. Okay, there is additional questions here from Jennifer. Can I create or delete the Lightbox from within the plugin? Yes, of course. There's actually nearly no restrictions within the plugin except administration features. You can just view the Lightboxes here. You can edit the Lightbox and delete it here. But as I said before, it's recommended to disable the Lightbox instead of deleting it, because you could use it for further reference. We have another question from Barry. When will the plugins be available in the stores? The plugins are still in approval process, and unfortunately, you can never predict how long it takes to have an approval there. If there is some issues that they don't like, it could be necessary to do another approval round. But we are very confident that this will be very soon, within the next weeks. We will send you a notification when the plugins are available, definitely. From Matt, there's a question. Is there an additional license to pay for the add-ins? No, the plugins are actually included into your Smint.io license in a complementary way. We have no user limits. We have no additional costs that are tied to the plugin. By the way, because the DAM integration question did come up before, also our DAM connectors that we provide are free of charge. So there's not additional charge for the DAM connectors, except if the DAM connectors are being provided by some of our partners. But we also see that they want to really provide it for free as well. So they will just work with us on a license fee base, but not on a connector charge. A question from Todd. Will I get an email if I receive a notification through the notification system? Yes, you will receive a notification email. It says you have, let's say, 5 notifications waiting for you within Smint.io, and then you can click the link and will directly be able to view the notifications in Smint.io. There is another question from Todd. One more. Can I define which images to display? Wait a moment. Can I define which images to display? In the Lightbox. So Todd wanted to ask if there is a way of selecting which images are being displayed here by default in the dashboard for a Lightbox. Actually, we made it like that. The best ranked images will actually be selected in the preview. So if you want to have certain images to be displayed here by default, you just rank the image up and then it will be displayed here. Okay, a question from Melissa. Great new features, thanks. Okay, thank you, Melissa. It's good to hear that. Tom said, can I assign a cost center number directly to a Lightbox? So actually cost centers are being managed on a project level. So here in the project, you can set the cost center and actually that cost center value then is being automatically assigned to the project. But you can override that by actually overriding it on a Lightbox level. So override is the wrong word. In the report at the end, both cost centers, the project cost center and the Lightbox cost center, will be added. Another question from Paul. I noticed that when you searched for COVID-19 early in the demo, that duplicate assets were returned in the search results. The same image is residing on 2 different image library websites. Is there a way to exclude duplicate assets from search results? So especially in the similar image search, you will of course find images that might be duplicate on different providers. we cannot right now merge those duplicates together because we are using the similar image search facilities on the different provider search APIs. And maybe in the future, we will start to also index content on our own behalf with our own search API, and then it might be possible. But for now, it's not possible. Okay, so let me see if there's additional questions. Another question from Frederick. Frederick asks if there's a plugin for Premiere Pro. Yes, the plugin works for Photoshop, Adobe InDesign, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro. So that's the same. I can just show you, if you want, how this looks like in Premiere. Let me start my Premiere. And actually, it's the okay. Frederick said, "I believe you." He sees no necessity to demonstrate the plugin for Premiere. So it's just the same. You don't have a separate installer. You can use it there. Okay, as far as I see, we have all the questions covered. If there is not any more questions, I think we are done for today. The next Smint.io user webinar will be probably in approximately 2 months, when we have a lot of features again that we can show you that are new. I'm very happy that you participated in this webinar, and I'm so happy that there has been so much interest and so many questions. So I wish you a good time. Please stay healthy in the current situation, and I hope we can make your lives, especially your home office lives, a bit easier by using Smint.io and by making your way of working together easier throughout the creative teams. Thank you very much, and see you soon again in the next Smint.io webinar. It was a pleasure. Bye.